So, what I want to mention is we're stepping into a new timeline, right? We're stepping into an entire new timeline, okay? And what people need to know is that you're not broken. You guys are just finally done pretending you're okay with a life that never really reflected who you actually were. Your soul already ended the chapter. It ended it a long time ago. Okay? It ended the chapter because your nervous system just didn't catch up. It hadn't caught up yet. And I want you to remember, I want you to remember, I want you to remember this as you listen to me tonight. Because at some point you will stop waiting for a sign and you will decide to become the person who creates one. Literally. You're going to create your own sign. You are the sign. Right? Most of you listening to this are in some kind of emotional transition. You don't have the language for it yet, right? And when you're too close to the picture, your body thinks it's survival time, it's survival mode, right? So you can't logically discern what's happening because survival doesn't allow rebirth. It doesn't allow fresh energy to align itself with you, right? It doesn't. You're reaching, you're coping, you're manifesting that skill, right? You're protecting. You're not understanding, right? So later you're like, why didn't I see this sooner? Why didn't I see this sooner? Why haven't I? It's because you were too close to the picture. You can't see the picture if you're right in front of it, right? You didn't see because you weren't safe enough to see. You weren't safe enough to see, right? And a lot of you are giving more than you're saying, right? A lot of you are grieving more than you're saying, right? And it grieving identities and your identity in a relationship, which is could be totally different. You're grieving all those parts of you, right? Because all those timelines, those coping skills, those coping mechanisms, you're unlearning all of that, and you're grieving it, right? You're burying it, right? The relationships, the dreams, you really no longer even belong to, right? But you're not grieving because you're weak. You're actually grieving because you're growing, right? And growth requires death way before it even looks like rebirth, right? So death is not the end. It's not. Death is actually the invitation, right? It's a beginning, right? So we don't talk about that enough. Why? Because it's easy to celebrate transformation when it's pretty, it's right? It is, right? But a lot of transformations they don't come and they don't look like confusion. They don't look like exhaustion, right? They don't. You're questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. So you're not lost. You're not lost. You're just literally in between versions of yourself, right? You're in between the version that survived everything, and then you're in between the version that no longer wants to live that way, right? And this full moon is asking you to literally release identities that no longer reflect the truth of your soul, right? At all.